Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear students, teachers. So now we are going to start the SEALA program, Children and Youth Retreat. So first of all, I want to welcome Most Venerable Bhante Dhammaloka. Bhante Dhammaloka Hamduro is going to conduct the session today. So I respectfully invite Hamduro to conduct the session.
Thank you, Venerable Panyasiri Hamduro. Today, celebrating the birth, enlightenment and passing away of the Buddha, as Vesak, part of Vesak celebration, now you all are going to observe how many precepts? Yes, 8 precepts, right? Yes, very good. 8 precepts. Normally, how many precepts you used to observe? 5 precepts. Very good. So, extra 3 precepts you are going to observe. I am not going to explain all the precepts, but extra 3 precepts that you are going to observe today should be known, right? So, one of the precepts that you are going to observe is, beside the basic 5 precepts, not to eat anything solid until you terminate your precepts. That means few hours time only, right? Yes. So you can, if you are thirsty, you can drink. Not eating anything, okay? Not taking any solid food. If you are thirsty, you can drink water, hot water, tea, that's okay. But not anything, even better not to eat anything at all, because it's not that long time, okay? So, that's the first one. Then, that's called Vikala Bhojana Veramani, not to eat anything solid. Afternoon. So, then Nacha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana. That means generally you suppose not to dance, sing, or to do things like that. And only during this few hours time, you stop doing anything like that, okay? And also, yes, and Uchchasayana Mahasayana, which means you are not going to use high seats or things like that, only cushion, maybe just the floor or cushion to be seated. These are the extra precepts that you are going to observe to train yourself, to train your body and speech, which would be helpful for your training your mind also, okay? So, now it's time to observe all these 8 precepts. So, for observing these 8 precepts, everyone keep your palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Very good. Now say namo tassa 3 times. Repeat after me. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānāti pātā Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinādāna Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musāvādā Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majjapama Dattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Vikāla bhojana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Nacca gita vadita visuka dassana mala gandha vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanaṭṭhāna Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Uccāsayana Mahāsayana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now you have observed all these 8 precepts. Okay, so be mindful with all the precepts that you have observed, and do not let any precept to be violated. Okay, if you have any doubt in between I might have violated this precept or something like that. Please let Panya Siri Hamduro know or any other teacher know about it and re-observe it, okay, so that you would be completely virtuous person during this time of the Vesak day, okay. I think now little children after වන්දනාව කරලාද කොහොමද? වන්දනාව පස්සේනේ. හරි. එන පොඩි කට්ටිය යන්න ගියා. ඒක කරන්න යවනවා. Okay. Now, whenever you do something, a meritorious deed, like there are 3 major meritorious deeds taught by the Buddha. Some children might know about them. One is practicing generosity. Second one, morality. And the third one, meditation. When you do any kind of meritorious deed, being in a virtuous ground, like observing these precepts, in this way, the good result of the practice would be higher and higher. Therefore, right now you have observed 8 precepts and been in a virtuous ground. Now let's pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha by reciting Gathas everyone together. Again keep your palms together and everyone together, a little bit louder. Let's recite the Gathas, okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavarahang samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno sugato loka anuttaro purisa dhamma rati sattha deva manussanang buddho bhaga Sakkhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akka ehi passiko panaiko paccattang vedi vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Ujjupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Sāmīci patipanno bhagavato sāvaka Yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa Esa bhagavato sāvaka Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhi Anjali kara Anuttarang punyakhetang lokas Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu Now, we would be meditating after a while, longer time. But right now, before some of the kids go to a separate place, let's practice meditation for few minutes. Okay, keep your upper body straight, head straight, and keep your right palm on your left palm. Gently, two thumbs touching together. Now close your eyes. Everyone have been closing eyes, so no one can see anybody else, and no one can see you. Pay attention on your breath, how you inhale and exhale. You can feel your inhale and exhale with your knowledge, knowing. Inhale, exhale. Have positive thoughts about yourself. I am a good child. I am a very good person. I follow the Buddha, so everyone likes me. Everyone appreciates me. My friends also who are here, all of them are very good because they follow the Buddha. They are very friendly to me. I am also a very good friend of them. My parents, brothers, sisters, they all are very good. They appreciate me. They like me. They love me. I also love my parents, brothers, sisters. I love everybody that I know. All the human beings, I love them all. All the human beings love me. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. All the human beings around the world be well, happy and peaceful. May all the animals, all the living beings on this planet, as well as many other world systems, all the living beings throughout all the universe, be well, happy and peaceful. This way, think, pervading loving, friendly thoughts towards yourself and all the living beings for a while. Keep in silence and closing eyes. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. දැන් එහෙම නම්. So now children of group number 1 can go downstairs. Okay, in a line, I guess, followed by a teacher. Be careful, that may be slippery down there. Now I think you also can come over here, right? Yes, we have enough space. So, now we are going to listen to Dhamma. Actually, not just listening. We can discuss, right? Some points of Dhamma. Yes. I want to see everybody. So, if you cannot see me, please adjust yourself so that I can see you. Okay. Good. So, what do you think? Why did we observe precepts today? What's the purpose of it?
So we can get good karma.
Good karma? Anybody else? Yeah, he says it's a good karma. Any other idea? Or you, if you have any opposite thought? Good karma. Besides that, anything else? Yes? Huh? Because Vesak, okay. Because it's Vesak. Anything? Okay. All your ideas are good. So, how can it be a good karma? And what's the purpose of practicing good karma? Good karma is good for everybody, right? And to the person who is practicing it, and towards all the world. Once the Buddha, his own biological son, when he was Prince Siddhartha, he had a son. He also got ordained when he was only 7 years old. Once the Buddha visited, he was Venerable Rahula, very young Rahula, and asked how he was doing and everything. And as a tradition, when the Buddha was going to the place where Venerable Rahula was there, Venerable Rahula brought a basket full of water to the doorstep and washed the feet of the Buddha and dried with the help of a piece of green cloth. And the Buddha was standing there and asked Venerable Rahula, it was full of water, right? Now it's half only. Rahula, similarly, the one who is violating the precept of not to lie, or who is telling lies even for joke, his virtuousness is very little. Then again the Buddha asked Venerable Rahula, he was very young at the time, and to make all the water empty, making the basket upside down, and asked Rahula, is there any water now in the vessel? No, Venerable, no, not at all. Rahula, similarly, the person who tells lies purposely, even for joke, has not any good karma accumulated. He or she has been started to accumulate demerits as a result of it. So in this way, you observed not only not to lie, but 8 precepts. When you observe and practice all these precepts, what develops? Develops something called sati, or mindfulness. If you are lack of mindfulness, at any moment you would violate it. It's very easy to violate the precepts, but not that easy to practice and protect. So these precepts are something like guidelines for your physical and verbal actions to be tamed. Okay? That's why it says, Silena Sugatin yanti. As a result of practicing morality, precepts, one would go to a higher place, Sugati, which means blissful places, maybe like divinely dwelling places, as human beings, very high places. Suppose if you want to become a popular person in the future, or even right now, if you were to violate precepts, no, you are not going to be popular among good people. If you are telling lies, no one would believe you. If you use harsh words to hurt others, no one would love you, no one would like you. If you use things like smoking or things, no, good people wouldn't appreciate you, right? Even if you were to associate the ones who use, drugs and things, no one like you. So those are the challenges in the society. So, you have to protect yourself, your actions by observing these precepts. That may be challenge, but that's a challenge to correct yourself. That would be a guideline to correct yourself, not to fall in bad states, right? Yes, all those wrong things are there in the world. That's why there are precepts, not to violate them. Okay. So, Silena Sugating Yanti, Silena Bhoga Sampada. As a result of practicing these precepts and being a person of virtuousness, moral person, Bhoga Sampada, you would become a rich person. Everybody likes to be rich, right? No one wants to be poor, right? Yeah, because poverty brings you unhappiness. So, according to the Dhamma, you can be a very rich person in righteous way, not hurting others. So, suppose if you were to practice according to the precepts, everyone would believe you. So, if you were to become a business person, your business would be very successful, because good business people would believe you and be your business partners. And in the future, suppose if you are going to be a very high person in the offices or so, anyone would hand over you good responsibilities, because you are trustworthy person. You would never tell lie, you would never cheat others, you would never steal. Because of that, everybody would believe you and keep trust. So, you would get responsibilities. That means you would be higher officers and higher persons in the society. Silena Bhoga Sampada. And also Silena Nibbuting Yanti, which means as a result of practicing morality, your mind would be so calm, peaceful. You wouldn't feel sad. You would feel happy all the time. You, as a result of that, you would gain a great confidence within yourself. That's very important, to have self-confidence. If you violate the precepts, you would reduce your self-confidence. Because of that, you have to be a virtuous person. That's why extra precepts are observed today. That's not easy. That's not easy task to observe and practice, but as a challenge you got it. And then together with that, what you develop is self-confidence. I can do this. I can do this. In this way, you have been developing your self-confidence. That self-confidence can be directed to any field, maybe for your education, maybe with any other good thing. So, that's very important. So, in this way, you have been, as you said, accumulating good karmas because of the Vesak full moon day, right? Vesak day, yes. So, that's why we observe these precepts. So, in between, if you have any doubt, anything to ask, please raise your hand and ask me, okay? Yes. So, once the Buddha addressed the monks and said, monks, people all the time all the time people always not in peace. They have many problems and they are suffering all the time. They don't have refuge. They don't have protection. They do not know what to do. They have no guidance. But if you were to practice morality, sila, then that's your guidance, that's your refuge, that's your protection. Not only sila, then the Buddha says, sila, then bhaussutta. Bhaussutta means well studying, learning. Now at school you learn many subjects, right? Maths, languages and so many subjects. Besides that, learning the Dhamma is also very important. So, and in the Sunday school and whenever you come to the temple, even from your parents, you would learn the Dhamma. So, whenever you learn the Dhamma, do not please let it for that moment only, because Dhamma is something you have to practice. For practicing it, you have to make it part of yourself. For that purpose, you have to remember what you hear, what you listen, study. So, you would be contemplating, thinking about the Dhamma that you have been studying, like the precepts we talked about. You have to think about it. Oh, and suppose if you come across a place where you are challenged to violate the precept, then you have to think about the precept that you observed, that you studied at the temple. Now I might be violating this precept. The danger of violating the precept is so bad, so high. So I should not violate it. In this way, you would avoid it. So in that way, you would develop your Dhamma knowledge by thinking, listening, thinking, contemplating, and also discussing with others. You can discuss with your friends also. Sometimes maybe even with your parents. If you think that they are not doing according to the Dhamma certain things, you can discuss. Mother or father, this is against our Dhamma principles, right? So you can discuss with them. So that would be helpful for their Dhamma development also. They also would be virtuous people because of you. You have that power because you are being in the Dhamma, you are discussing with it with even your parents. So the Buddha says morality, then studying the Dhamma. Then the Buddha says Kalyana Mittata, being good friend, spiritual friend. You can be a spiritual friend to yourself and others, right? Not only the ones in your class, but even to your brother, sister, mother, father, everybody that you associate with. You can be a good friend. What are the characteristics of good friend? Yes?
They're helpful, they teach you good things, they get you out of trouble.
Yeah, very good. Yes?
They're kind to you, they always you trust them.
Very good. Yes?
A good friend probably would, like, sometimes if you want to do something else, your
bored with that activity, like he might say yes because some of my friends don't do that, and then I kind of don't like that when they do it. So a good friend would do what you want as well, and then you could do what they want.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
They're honest and flexible.
Honest and flexible. Yes.
They act loyal to you even when it's hard.
Yeah. Any other idea? So, suppose your friend suggests you to do something wrong. Just because it's your friend, do you agree with that? Should you be agreed? No, right? No. Suppose like one of your friends suggest something bad to do with you secretly. Do you agree? No. Why? Yes?
Because you could get in trouble.
Yes, you get into trouble, and also, yes? Yeah, breaking one of the 5 steps, yes. And also, your friend also would be in trouble, right? So, as a good friend, you do not support anything doing bad, and also if you know he or she is going to do something wrong, then you have to protect the person not to do that. That may be by yourself or with compassion by telling your parents or the teachers, in that way, right? Yes. So, just because it's your friend, you would not agree to do all the things. That's a characteristic of a good friend. You know, once Bodhisattva, he was born to a Brahmin family. Brahmin family means, yes?
It's like, I think it's like something to do with like, isn't there like an Indian caste system and they're like
Yeah. Brahmin means like priest class, in that way. So he was born in a Brahmin family, and he had a very good friend born to a potter, that clay pots, the family in who do that business. But he was a good friend of him. Now you see how this sansaric life is, how dangerous it is. This Bodhisattva, though he was Bodhisattva, he did not go to see the Buddha. Then Buddha Kashyapa was there in the world. He did not go. But his friend, that potter, his name was Ghatikara. Ghatikara went there. Then once Ghatikara wanted Bodhisattva's name was Jyotipala. His friend Jyotipala asked, Jyotipala, let's go and see the Buddha. No, I don't want to go there. He did not know who is the Buddha, nothing. Then again and again asked. No, he did not want. Then one day they were getting ready to go to the river to have a bath. After getting the bath, they had long hair like girls today. Even boys had long hair at that time. Ghatikara, that Bodhisattva's friend, got his friend with his hair, hold him, and dragged him towards the temple. Then on the way, because he was so wise, he thought, my friend would never do this if this is not something very great. So he also agreed and went there. And just by seeing the Buddha, He surrendered in front of the Buddha and paid homage and got even ordained as a monk. You see, now he was a good friend. As a good friend, he directed even this Bodhisattva towards the Dhamma. If he did not do that, our Buddha as a Bodhisattva would not get that opportunity to fulfill all the paramitas. If he did not fulfill all the paramitas, do we have the Buddha? No, not this time. So you see what a good friend can do. So the duty and obligation of a good friend is to help the person with even spirituality more than material things. Okay, with spirituality means if he is not virtuous person, encourage the person to be virtuous by observing the precepts. If he or she does not practice meditation or does not go to the temple, then encourage and teach how to do that. Or do something bad, like cursing their parents or so, and tell them the danger of doing so. Okay, that way. So that's the Buddha said. What said? Kalyana mitrata, spiritual friendship. That's very important. Then another thing, to make a refuge or a kind of moral background for yourself to have good lives. The Buddha says there are 10 things. I would mention some of them, like studying the Dhamma, and also being mindful, and also developing your wisdom. How do you develop your wisdom? Yeah.
So you learn about new things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one way, learning about new things. And also the Buddha says, Sutamaya, that's learning about the new things by listening. Then Chintamaya Panya. Chintamaya means by thinking, contemplating. Everything that you can see around, inventions, that's a result of thought power, right? Thinking. By thinking, deep way. And so by thinking, and also bhavana me panya, by meditating. In these 3 ways you can develop your wisdom. So I think it's better to practice some meditation now to develop our wisdom too, right? Yeah. So I think we have maybe about only 15 to 20 more minutes. Right. So, okay. 20 minutes. So, we have come to a good point to develop wisdom by practicing what? Meditation, right? Yes. You know how to sit for meditation. So it's very important to keep your upper body straight. And right palm on the left. Gently 2 thumbs touching together. You can half or full close your eyes. Now pay attention on yourself, which means your body. Your physical feelings. You can feel touch of your cushion or feet on the ground. You can feel your weight of your upper body on your lower part of the body. Anything that you can feel on your skin, maybe heat or cold or touch of your own dress. What you can feel when you inhale and exhale, how you can feel your abdomen and chest rise and fall. Even the sound on your ears, eardrums. Pay complete attention on yourself, your body, and feelings on your body. Train yourself not to be disturbed by the sound. Just observe and let go. When you close your eyes, still you can see through the closed eyelids, maybe reddish or kind of light spot. Focus on that. Pay complete attention on every sensation that you can detect throughout your body. Try to detect the feeling of your breath. You might notice it throughout your breathing tunnel. When you inhale and exhale, try to focus and detect your inhalation and exhalation. Go for deep and long inhalation while focusing complete attention on the breath, and complete exhalation with complete awareness. So you could detect well your breath. Do this couple of more times. Deep and long inhalation and deep and long exhalation. Regardless of anything and everything that you can hear here and there, train yourself to focus your mind on your breath. Now you can count your breath. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. This way up to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more round. 1, 2, up to 10 again by yourself. Now, without counting, try your best to keep your attention, your inhalation and exhalation. Try not to skip any breath. Try not to let any inhalation and exhalation happen without your knowledge. Try to notice each and every breath has beginning point, ending point, and in between. Knowing that, be aware and keep complete attention throughout each and every breath, at the beginning, end, and in between, inhalations and exhalations completely, and try to focus your mind. Try to notice if there is any changes taking place when you pay attention on your breath. Maybe long breaths, short ones. So, how was your meditation practice? Good? Very good. So, usually this is very simple, but sometimes challenging, right? Sometimes not easy to focus on the breath, right? For children, this would be easier than adults. I know if you don't keep on practicing, when you grow older, it would be harder. But if you keep on practicing, this would be easier for the kids. You know, Prince Siddhartha, when he was very little child, he used to practice this because of his previous birth habits. He just sat cross-legged and paid attention on the breath. What was the result? He attained jhanas, which means ecstasies. So he could even elevate himself even as a little child boy, because his mind was so serene, calm, purified, and started to elevate himself. Including his father, everyone who were there gathered around and paid respect. On the Vesak full moon day, early in the morning, when he was trying to attain Buddhahood, he tried everything. Finally, he remembered, he recalled as a child what he practiced. Breathe in meditation, he paid attention on it and attained step by step all the jhanas and Buddhahood by practicing this meditation system called Anapanasati, or mindfulness on inhalation and exhalation, mindfulness on breathing. So, from the day that you were born, you have started breathing, right? Without any force, any stop, we have been breathing, but usually not with mindfulness, not with attention. If you want to have peaceful mind, calm mind, developed mind, once in a while you can pay your attention on your breath and mindfully inhale and exhale. That would be very helpful for your studies. On something studying hours of time, keep little few minutes on your breathing meditation and try, then you can see without that alone you would be able to focus on the subject and study better. Okay? That would save your time and energy on your studies too, if you were to dedicate some time for your meditation practice on breathing. Okay, so I wish you all good health, happiness, long life, and good luck with your Dhamma practice on this Vesak day. Okay. Wish you the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha be with you all the time. Thank you. Punya.
Richard and Miss Joyce. So now we are going to continue the next session, next part of the program.
How long do I have for this?
20 minutes, 30, less than 30 minutes.
Less than 30 minutes?
Yeah, maybe if you can do it. Do you have any
Well,
practice?
we were going to do a Jataka story, and then I was going to have them write their own, but I'm not too sure we'll have time for that.
Yeah,
So maybe we'll try to...
You can tell the story.
Yes, I can read the story.
Yeah.
All right. So
Come
you
here.
want me to sit over here?
Yeah.
Oh my, gotta put this on too.
Yeah. The other side.
The other side. Okay, boys and girls, can you sit back down and come a little closer if you can? I know many of you, but not all of you. and it's nice to be here. My name is Miss Joyce, and I teach with Bante, level 5. So I have a question. What is something that you do in your class that you really like doing? Can you think of anything that you do with your teacher or that your teacher does with you that you really like? Anybody? I think there's something you probably like, but you're not thinking about it right now. Is there any kind of stories that you talk about in class ever? What are they called? What? Yes. All right, why do you like those? Why do you like them? They're interesting. Okay. So if I asked you what made them interesting or what they were like, what are the components of a Jataka story? What do you have? Let's start with this. Where do they usually happen? In the Buddha's past life. Okay. So what are some of the elements that happen?
Because they're born into a life, and there's usually a moral.
There you go. So there's usually a moral that happens with it. Okay. So what are some examples of a moral that you might have in a story like that?
Honesty is the best policy.
Good. Honesty is the best policy. Anybody have another moral that you might have? Oh, I bet. How about you? Can you think of another moral?
Kindness over hatred.
Beautiful. Kindness over hatred. How about another one? Anybody else back there?
True friends will always be there.
True friends will always be there. Okay. Yes.
Being not to be greedy.
Okay. To be generous instead of greedy. All right. That's a good one. Sandali, how about you? I caught you off guard. I'm sorry. You go ahead, think about it. Maybe you'll come up with one later. Anybody else have any? Well, if you start thinking about the things that Buddha wanted us to be like, how he wanted us to behave, they become pretty easy, don't they? We want to be kind, generous. We don't want to have any ill will to anyone. We want to be able to relax, be at ease. We want to be compassionate. We want to think of others before ourselves. So all of these stories, and there are well over 500, right, Bante?
Yeah.
Very many. There are a lot of them. All of these stories are something that helps us to remember, okay? So I have a story here that is my favorite Jataka tale. And I'm going to see if I can get a couple students who like to read out loud to help me to read it. So if you're a good reader, if you could come up and take this. And let me see, would you like to read too? All right. Come on up. Anybody else? That's 3, 4, 5. If I could get one more person. All right, thank you. Now, this is called the Banyan Deer. Raise your hand if you've heard this story before. Anybody ever heard it? All right. Let me ask you another question. Is there anybody here who ever saw the Disney movie Bambi? All right, well, this is kind of like the opposite of Bambi, fortunately. So we're going to read this to the rest of you. If I had enough copies, I would give everyone a copy. We're going to read this together, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, okay? All right, I'm going to start, and then if you have a paper in your hand, I'm going to point to you and ask you to read like 3 different paragraphs. They're short, okay? There was once a deer the color of gold. His eyes were like round jewels. His horns were white as silver. His mouth was red like a flower. His hoofs were bright and hard. He had a large body and a fine tail. He lived in a forest and was king of a herd of 500 banyan deer. Nearby lived another herd of deer called the monkey deer. They too had a king. So we've got 2 herds of deers and 2 king deers who are the head of those herds. All right?
The king of that country was fond of
Can you be a little louder, sweetie?
The king of that country was fond of hunting the deer and eating the deer meat. He did not like to go alone, so he called the people of his town to go with him day after day. The townspeople did not like this for a while. They were gone. No one did their work. So they decided to make a park and drag the deer into it. Then the king could go into the park and hunt, and they could go on their daily work.
Very good. So if you couldn't hear, so we've got a king, a human king, who likes to hunt. And he's going and he's killing the deer. And it says here the townspeople were asked to go with him. They didn't want to do that because when they were going with him, they weren't able to do their work during the day. Okay? All right, next person.
They made a park, planted grass in it, and provided water for the deer, built a fence around it, and drove the deer into it. They shut the gate and went to tell the king that in the park nearby he could find all the deer he wanted. The king went at once to look at the deer. First he saw the 2 deer kings and granted them their lives. Then he looked at their great herds.
Okay, so all of the deer are in a park, and they're there specifically so that the king can kill them. But he has given freedom from worry about being killed to whom? Who doesn't have to worry about being killed?
The deer kings.
The deer kings. All right? All right, next please. Let's, you have paper back there? Okay.
Some days the king would go to hunt the deer. Sometimes his cooks would go. As soon as any of the deer saw them, then they would shake with fear and run. But when they had been hit once or twice, they would drop down dead. The king of the banyan deer sent for the king of the monkey deer and said, "Friend, many of the deer are being killed. Many are being wounded. Besides, it's those who are killed after this supposed one from my herd goes up to be killed one day, and the next day let one from your herd go up. Fewer deer will be lost."
All right, so does everybody understand what's happening? Can someone put it in a nutshell for us? What do you think?
They made a compromise that one day, since a bunch of deer were getting killed, that one day one from the monkey deer would go, and then one from the banyan deer would go off to get killed, like swapping by day.
Okay, so the deer didn't have to worry about being killed indiscriminately. They knew that they would be chosen to be killed and that they would be doing it for the herd, right? All right, let's see what happens. How is this situation going to work out? Is there anyone who hasn't read here in front? Oh, you're back there. Okay.
The monkey deer agreed. Each day the deer whose turn it was would go and lie down, placing its head in the block. The cook would come and carry off the one he found lying there. One day the lot fell to a mother deer who had a young baby. She went to her king and said, "O king of the monkey deer, let the turn pass me by until my baby is old enough to get along without me. Then I will go and put my head on the block."
Okay, thank you. So here is the most important part of it, right? What has happened? Who has to put their head on the block to be killed now? A mother of a baby deer. So she's naturally very frightened. She's shaking. And so she goes to the king of the deer, because she's a monkey deer, and she says, "I don't want to do this. I don't want to be killed. I have a baby that needs me." All right. You want to read? Is it your turn? Okay.
But the king did not help her. He told her if the lot had fallen to her, she must die. Then she went to the king of the standing deer and asked him to save her. "Go back to your herd and I will go to your place," he said.
Thank you. All right. So the monkey king, the monkey deer, the king of the monkey deers, said, "Nope, you have to go." So she went to the banyan, the king of the banyan deer. And the king of the banyan deer said, "Go back. I'm going to take your place." All right. Who else is ready to read? Go ahead.
The next day, the cook found the king of the banyan deer lying with his head on the block. The cook went to the king, who came himself to find out about this. "King of the banyan deer, I did not grant you your life. Why are you lying here?" "O great king," said the king of the banyan deer, "a mother came with her young baby and told me that the lot had fallen to her. I could not ask anyone else to take her place, so I came myself." The king of banyan deer, "I have never saw such kindness and mercy. Rise up, I will grant your life and hers, nor will I hunt any more the deer in either the park or forest."
So why do you think that the human king told the king of the banyan deer, "I'm so shocked here, I'm not going to kill you"? What do you think?
Because the human king told the leader of the banyan deer that he would spare his life because he was a king, but the king of the banyan deer still went just to save the mother's life. So the king was surprised because he had the option to live, but he still turned it down to save someone else's, and that gave him a shock of
That's right. That's right. He was very, what's a word for what the banyan deer king is doing? What would you say? How would you describe him? He's compassionate.
I would probably say he's feeling bad for the lean one because the lean one is in care and the other one is getting a baby.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Well, he's kind because he sacrificed himself for someone else.
He's very kind.
He's selfless.
Selfless.
I think it's I always hear these words mixed up, like empathetic or sympathetic.
Oh, empathetic is a very good word. Yeah. Sympathy is when you feel sorry for someone. Empathy is when you feel what they feel. So being empathetic is extremely helpful. Yeah. Do you think he's also very brave? I mean, the king could have said, "Oh, well, tonight I'm going to have a very large king deer on my plate," but he didn't. So he decided that he would stop what he was doing and no longer kill the deer. So I thought it would be a really good idea if we made our own story. And I don't know if we have quite enough time to do it for this lesson, but in June, we come back again, right?
Yeah.
And we could always do it then. I was going to break you into groups of like 6, having my students, the level 5 students, kind of lead you and break you into groups, and you were going to write your own stories. But since we're kind of running out of time, maybe we can do something a little different. Maybe we can do kind of like, have you ever played telephone where one person says something and then the next person, all right? So maybe we can kind of get the elements that we need. We'll see how it works. I'm going to ask you to kind of sit yourselves in a little bit more of a circle so we can go around. Let's see how we do. All right. All right, so the first thing we need to do as a group is decide what our goal is. What is the moral that we want to teach with this story? Anybody have a moral for today? What do you think we should do?
Probably to be honest.
To be honest. Okay, that sounds like a good one for today. Yeah?
Maybe like if you're like just in front of others, yeah.
All right, well, let's go with honesty. Maybe we can include that, okay? All right, so the goal at the end, whoever is last, has to figure out how to make this end. And I choose Mr. Richard. We're going to make him to be the final person in here, okay? So he gets to give us a good ending. Yes?
It's kind of off topic, but I think it's like really crowded there. I think we should like scoot out a little more.
Yeah, it's a little crowded. We're kind of running out of time, but you guys can figure it out, right? You know who's next. Okay, thank you. So now, since Mr. Richard is the last one, I need for someone on one side of him to be the first. Do I have a volunteer for someone on either side of Mr. Richard to be first and start off our story? So what do we need? We need to know where it's going to happen. They'll give us our setting. Then we're going to need to talk about who is in the story. Someone along the way is going to have to come up with the kind of animals we have or humans. Then we're going to need a problem to solve, a clever solution, and at the end we know we've reached our inspirational goal. So let's just see what happens. It's a little unwieldy because there's so many of you, but maybe it'll work. So, oh, thank you so much. All right, go ahead.
So I just start like a
Just start. Pretend, yes, you're. I mean, the Jataka stories were written by just everyday people, all right? And then they were preserved and kept by the monks. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So let's make a story. Go ahead.
Is that a beach?
We're at a beach.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to pass it on to Sanjali, is that it?
Yeah.
Pardon? There's a king on the beach? Okay, a human king? A human king on the beach.
This king is a fan of animals.
He likes animals. All right.
There's fish nearby.
Fish nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the water at the beach.
Yeah.
Okay. He likes the fish. In what way does he like the fish? Oh, he has fish pets. Okay.
So there's one mean fish and there's one nice fish. And the mean fish is dishonest and the nice fish is honest.
Okay, very good. I like that.
There's a shark that wants to eat the fish.
Oh, okay. It's getting very good. Right, next.
The shark. Okay, the shark just wants the honest fish and the dishonest fish to decide which one is going to be eaten.
He's deciding between the honest fish and the dishonest fish? Okay. All right. He chooses the honest one. Okay.
So the king sees the shark and gets a spear, I guess.
Okay. The king sees the shark is coming for the honest fish, and he gets out a spear. All right.
The king tries to stop the shark from eating the honest fish.
Okay. How does he do that?
By just letting the shark decide.
All right. All right.
The shark realizes that the fish he's going to eat is honest, so he decides to go for the other fish.
The king convinces the shark not to eat it.
How does he convince the shark not to eat the honest fish?
Because it's bad for you either. It's bad karma for you either way.
It's bad karma either way. So leave them both alone, maybe? Very good. All right. So what does the shark say in return here? The king's telling him he's going to get bad karma, so.
I'm still hungry.
He says, but I'm still hungry. Okay.
Then the king tells him, you don't have to eat these fish.
Okay. Okay, it's getting harder here, so if you need a minute to talk with somebody before you say it, you can do that if you want to.
The king doesn't know where other food is, but the honest fish says that instead of eating fish, to find something else.
So this honest fish is dishonest. So he doesn't want himself to be eaten and he doesn't care about others. So he gives away the location of that other fish's body. So they're going to be eaten, but he doesn't. The honest fish tells the dishonest fish not to eat other fish.
That's okay. We can work with that. Why don't we pass it on?
The honest fish. Wait, what did the king have to do?
What's the king doing now?
The king takes like a net and puts both the fish into like a smaller pond so they're safe.
Okay. All right. Mr. Richard?
And then he jumps into the shark now.
So you ended it. The king jumps into the shark's mouth. He saves the fish and he jumps into the shark's mouth. How many of you like that ending? Is that a good ending? I like that ending.
It's a weird ending. Sharks can't eat people, first of all. They never eat people. They just eat your legs and hands. Because I mean, my friend said the only way the shark to get somebody is you have to cut something and then the shark will eat him.
Well, it's a lot like the banyan deer, though, isn't it? Isn't it? Somebody saves everybody else. What do you think, Mr. Richard? Do you have a better ending, or you like that ending? I like that ending too.
Probably a better ending would be like the dishonest fish starts to probably he gets angry that the honest fish is being nice, so they can save the other fish so that he hits the honest fish, and then the king sees it. Then he says, "That's it. I'm kicking you out of my tank. Now go to the swamp."
Well, we are at the beach, and you all did a very good job, even though it was a very large crowd. So I am told by Bante that we are done for right now, so I will...
Yeah, now
But-
I'm inviting the Bante Dhammaloka now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So Bante Dhammaloka, want to invite. Can
Do you want them to stay in a circle? Or do you want them to get back?
Yes.
Okay, boys and girls, can you get back to where you were before, where you're facing Bante? And I'm going to go back there so that Bante Dhammaloka can come back. All right.
So, students, so now we want more space for the group 1. So group 1 is now comes upstairs, okay? So I hope you all observe the noble silence, please. Okay. So come slowly. So now we are going to invite Bante Dhammaloka. Okay. Richard.
Does it show my face down there?
You ate a little gummy.
No. Yeah? Okay, it's right there.
Okay, children. Now, for the Vesak day, you have been dedicating your time, energy here to make it dedication for the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. I think every one of you know that this is not our first or the last birth, right? We were somewhere in this universe before too. Suppose if you are right now 10 years old, where were you 12 years ago?
Well, you're 10.
If you are 10, what about 12 years ago? Where were you?
I'm not 10.
How old are you?
7.
7. Okay. 8 years ago, where were you? Yeah?
No.
Huh?
In
In Sansara, yeah. Okay. All of you, 20 years ago, where could be?
What could we?
Huh?
Nowhere. Probably in my house somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably in my attic,
Yeah. Maybe somewhere, maybe as a boy or a girl, maybe in the USA or some other country,
Or some other planet.
maybe some other planet even, right?
Some other universe?
Yeah, some other universe, somewhere in this universe. And okay, again, maybe after another 100 or 100, another 200 years, where you also would be. Somewhere again, right? Maybe as a human being, maybe in the USA or Canada or Europe or Sri Lanka or Asia or somewhere.
North America?
North America, yes.
South America?
So, okay, now what brings you here and there? What brings you here and there? Yes?
Your legs.
Your karma.
What's karma?
Yeah, your good and bad actions. Right? What if you do good? What happens?
You go.
You go to a good place. If you do bad, like killing or stealing, things like that, you go to a bad place. Okay? So, you have to, the Buddha said, what you should do? Sabba papa sakaranan. Do not do anything evil, anything bad. Then kusalasa upasampada. Do good things, practice good things. Like today you observed 8 precepts and practice something good, great. And also offering Buddha puja and kusala supan sachitta pariyodapana. Then the third thing that you have to do is sachitta pariyodapanan. Taming your mind. That's not easy. Controlling your mind. Sometimes you would feel like jealousy. Sometimes maybe like scared. Sometimes, like angry. Those are not good thoughts. So you have to do some effort to get rid of those negative thoughts and to cultivate good thoughts. Happiness. Sachitta pariyodapana. To develop something wholesome, something good within yourself, like loving friendliness, compassion, and good heart, helping others, things like that. That's what you have to do. Then you would go from, the Buddha says, light to light, like from good place to even better place. Now you all are good children, you would become even better ones. You would be more beautiful, more healthy, and everyone would start to like you, like that. Okay? So this Vesak full moon day, you have been practicing all the 3 deeds, 3 meritorious deeds that the Buddha advised us to do. The first one, Sila. Sila means morality. Then Dana, Sila, Bhavana, generosity, morality and meditation. All these 3 deeds have been done. Now you are going to practice giving, right? Yes. Yeah.
Bhante, can you explain? So they are ready to offer some gifts right now.
Yeah. Now Bhante Panyasiri Hamdru said that you are going to give some gifts. So that's very So this is also a part of practicing the Dhamma, right? Practicing the Dhamma, giving.
No, it's a quadrillion.
The ones who give receives.
I want a lot, but where is it? I want a lot of gifts, but where are they? අපි ගාථාවක් කියලා අවසන් කරමු. අවසන් කරලා දෙන්න. ඔව් නැත්නම් ආපහු මේ ටික ඉඳන් ඉගත් ලේසි නෑ. ඔව්.
Okay. How bell එක ගෙනා.
බෙල් එක ගෙනා වල.
බෙල් එක.
ගන්න බෙල එක. මේ මෙයාට එකක් හම්බ වෙලා නැහැ ඒකයි වෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේක දෙන්න.
I brought mine
You bought?
in a brown paper bag.
Okay.
The yours?
Lakshmi Nona? මේ පුතාගේ පිටිකරක් තියනවද?
It's a brown paper bag. Maybe it's downstairs.
Maybe downstairs.
I think it's downstairs.
Okay. හරි පටන් ගමු.
Okay, well now you have something to give monks.
Money?
Huh? Monks, Hamuduru. Okay, so this is also a very great opportunity for you to practice giving, right? As the Buddha says, as you sow, so you reap. That means the way that you practice giving, you also would be receiving. If you do not practice giving, you would not be able to get, you would not be able to receive. So practice giving, then you can get also. So this is something very nice to practice. Now since you have observed the 8 precepts couple of hours ago, now you have to terminate it. Now you have to re-observe 5 precepts. Then you are going to observe 5 precepts first, then afterwards you are going to give these presents. So now keep your palms together to observe 5 precepts. Say sadhu 3 times, namo tassa 3 times, buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, pānātipātā vēramaṇī sikkāpadaṃ samādhiyāmi, adinādāna vēramaṇī sikkāpadaṃ samādhiyāmi, kāmesu miccācārā vēramaṇī sikkāpadaṃ samādhiyāmi, musāvādā vēramaṇī sikkāpadaṃ samādhiyāmi, Suramera majjapama dattana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. සුඛී හොතු. මේක නෝනමක මේක දෙන්න හව යාට දෙන්න. මට නැති කට්ටියට මේක මහව හොඳයි. හොඳයි. උත්සාහනේ. උත්සාහනේ. හොඳයි සුඛී හොතු. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ. හොඳයි. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ.
Nearly. Nearly. Nearly.
Both hands. Thank you. හොඳයි සුඛී හොතු.
Dulanya.
හොඳයි. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ. හොඳයි උත්සාහනේ. සුපර්. සුඛී.
Oh, you came back? Oh, okay, go to the back bubble so we can do this on this side.
උත්සාහනේ. සුපර්. සුඛී හොතු. හොඳයි. හොඳයි සුඛී හොතු.
You both want to do it? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
හොඳයි සුඛී හොතු.
Give it to me. There you go.
Here
you go.
Super. Super.
Give me a minute, okay? Use both hands to lift when you're giving.
Both hands. Okay. Super. Suki, okay. හරිනේ හොඳයි
ආයි පින්තූර ගන්න ඕනේද කමක් තියෙනවා වගේ මට හිතෙනවා නිකන්
එයා වීඩියෝ ගන්න මම හිතන්නේ. මම කෝල් කරන්න තාත්තට. ඕකේ. හඳුරු පින්තූරයක් ගන්න ළමයි ඔක්කොම. ඕකේ චොප් හඳුරු.
කොහොමද? ඔයාගේ නම මොකක්ද? වචනේ?